Tuperas y tuperas, today on DOOP By The River, I know you are upset. Trust me, I'm upset too. The Union lost to the Columbus Crew. Here on DOOP By The River, we're going to talk about that match. There is still a lot to look forward to as we look ahead at Sunday's match against Bruce Arena and New England Revolution. And don't go anywhere, guys, because you do not want to miss this episode of DOOP By The River. And let's get this started. And done! That is right. Welcome everyone to DOOP By The River, the show where we follow everything Philadelphia Union, brought to you by Philly Sports Network. And before we move forward, guys, do not forget to rate the podcast and subscribe to it as well. It would truly mean the world to us here at DOOP By The River. Don't forget to help us out. Joining me here today, guys. Of course, I am joined by my man, Mr. Tim Lovingood. Tim, what's going on there, everybody?
I'm here. It's been a crazy couple of days after the
Union
losing and the election that's currently going on. I'm tired.
Heads are spinning, man.
Sleep deprived, but I'm here and I'm ready to talk some Union.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you hopping on here. You know, it has been a crazy couple of days, but you know what better way to just distract our minds and just talking a little Union soccer, man. Absolutely. I'm glad you're here today, buddy. Of course, I'm also joined today by our other host here, Mr. Justin Freiberg. Justin, what's going on, buddy? How you feeling today?
Like Tim, it's been a crazy few days with the Union and the election and working in the city. I'm just glad it's midweek, but always glad to talk some Union. Always helps to alleviate any problems I might have.
Absolutely. Listen, guys, sports has always been like a way out for us. You know, with the stresses of life, everything that's going on, especially now, sports is always something you could just rely on to just put a smile on your face and distract you. Of course, we're talking about the election. The election is pretty important this year. You know, it's a pretty historic election as well. We just wanted to say, first of all, thank you for everyone who did vote. Listen, it's our right to vote here in America, right? A lot of countries don't have the situation that we do. So take advantage of that. And I'm really happy that a lot of people did show out this year. I just wanted to get a little real with you guys before we dive in. Look, no matter who wins this election, whether it is Biden, whether it is Trump, and I'm putting myself in this boat as well. I think that no matter who wins, we need to look at ourselves and ask, how can we make our community better? We need to start looking more at the people around us, who live around us, and just ask ourselves, what can I do? What can I do? And I'm doing that to myself every single day. How can I improve my own community here? So no matter what goes on with this election, just keep that in mind, guys. And I'll let you guys, Justin and Tim, I'll let you guys, if you want to throw out something there as well. But that's just all I wanted to say to you guys. I know this is a soccer podcast, and we were not trying to make this political, but this is important stuff. This is our well-being here. So if you guys want to throw something out there, definitely do so.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I just want to say with everything that's going on, as a nation in America, just everything where you see this great divide in the people, we all have to work better to be able to create one nation. That's really
Amen,
what
brother.
We do. No matter who the president is, whether or not the president leads by that example. If they don't, then it comes down to the citizens. And I think we've seen this divide and how hurtful it is for everybody. So there's going to have to be some kind of dialogue there and some kind of healing that has to come. So just keep working toward that, strive for it, and we'll see if whoever is leading our country agrees with that or not.
100%. You nailed it on the head, brother. You nailed it on the head. Any words, Justin, about the election? Any feelings you want to vent out there?
Yeah, I'll say just a few words. I try not to be too political because politics never makes people happy, and there's always someone who feels they're slighted and feels that they're not represented. Tim nailed it on the head.
Yeah.
I mean, as a country in the last few years, it's become apparent that we're coming apart at the seams. There's only so many things that can really bring us together, and I think that this, whether it's the virus or this election, really should bring it together. The idea that we gotta look at ourselves and see what we're doing, and look at making ourselves better people. And by making yourself a better person, you can make your community and make your country better.
Yeah.
And I think if everyone strives to just improve just a little bit, I mean, I figure this country ain't a bad place to live, but we can all do our part to make it just a little bit better.
Yeah,
exactly. And I love that you brought that up, because this is something that I actually I do on a daily basis. And this works for any type of relationship, whether it be romantic or even friendship or even like a working relationship. Put yourself in other people's shoes at times. Just look at the other person's point of view and then at that point make your assumption or make your opinion or whatnot. But if you could just look at everything from the other side, things will be better. There's always two sides to everything. You just got to look at it from both ways. And I promise you, things will be better. I promise you. I absolutely promise you guys. All right. Well, guys, enough of that. Again, thank you for everyone who did participate in elections this year. But guys, we got some freaking soccer to talk about here. And first off, to talk about this, CONCACAF Champions League coming back, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I'm excited for it. And honestly, I'm more excited because it's at the best time possible. December, off season, when hopefully we're still hungover from a Union MLS Cup championship. I'm not going to jinx us, but I'm just saying. But still, guys, having December soccer with MLS teams involved is still pretty exciting. I'm going to pass this off to Justin here, because Justin is the CONCACAF Champions League guru here on DOOP By The River. Justin, so explain to us how is the Champions League going to come back? What are we looking at here, man?
Okay, so they kind of came out of the blue and said,
"Oh yeah,
we're coming back." Like no indication that literally no one, and I follow a lot of reporters on within the soccer realm. No one had an inkling that this was going to happen.
I think we just kind of forgot, right?
Yeah,
I think because the idea was like, okay, like I think because everyone was already talking about the 2021 spots, people kind of said, oh, well, we haven't really finished 2020, so how is this going to work? So CONCACAF, and brought to you by Scotiabank, as they love to
we're getting sponsor money now.
Yeah, as they love to throw in there, because I mean, it is sponsorship. FIFA don't run for free. Let's be honest here. So based on what I'm seeing, most of the games had at least had the first leg played. It looks like the only one that didn't have it was LAFC and Cruz Azul. So all the other ones, they're going to play the second leg at whoever was supposed to be hosting.
Okay.
I am curious at how they're going to get LAFC that series, because they have to play 2 games.
Yeah.
They didn't start it, so that one's going to be interesting. That's supposed to. It might be back-to-back days, because they said the quarterfinals are supposed to be the 15th to 16th of December. The semifinals. So then the semifinals move to a central location in the United States. Semifinals are supposed to be on the 19th, with the final being on December 22nd. Now remember,
wow,
the MLS Cup final is December 12th. So God forbid any of these teams that are in the MLS make it to the final. They're going to have to play a lot of games in December.
Yeah.
So I think it's good that they're at least getting it situated. Do I feel that the MLS team will win it this year?
What?
I'm gonna say no. I think LAFC is the best chance, and I still think their defense. I mean, Murillo's been good at the back. Their goalkeeping still a bit of a question. The real question is Carlos Vela healthy?
Or is he going to play? Is he?
That's the thing too. I think there's a lot, and the question is: are they going to sell Diego Rossi? Are they selling Brian Rodriguez?
Right.
There are Latif Bled. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are having rumors of sales, and you wonder if they're going to wait until after those games. So I don't have too much confidence in an MLS team finally winning CCL this year. But if the Union,
you're telling me that you are not buying in on the 11th place Atlanta United to beat Club America down 3-0? I'm sorry, I
Ooh, that's a good one, Johnny. No, I don't have faith in NYCFC, Montreal, LAFC, or Atlanta United. I simply don't.
Wait, so quick question. So that Olympia Montreal game, so I see it's 2-1. Was that first leg in Olympia or was that in Montreal?
I believe
it
was
doesn't
in
even matter to
Montreal.
me, neutral site anyways.
I mean, I don't know how they're still doing if they're doing away ties.
I mean, no one can go to Canada, so that's
I believe it was in Montreal. So either way, they would have an issue.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I honestly don't. I wouldn't write off Montreal, only because I feel like Terry can get those guys motivated for a elimination type of game. I know it's been different in the regular season for Montreal. They haven't, they're still kind of trailing off at that end there. But I really wouldn't write those guys off. NYCFC, I don't think they can beat Tigres. And
especially
LAFC
without Matriza or Hebert.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't really see much of a shot. I wouldn't
write off Montreal, and I wouldn't write off LAFC. But I mean, guys, we're at the end of the day, when it comes to this tournament, we just want an MLS team to win, and our team has never been in it. So I want an MLS team to hoist that trophy. That's the bottom line.
That would be nice.
That would be nice, and we get some soccer to watch in December, so I'm not going to complain there. So good stuff there. All right, so guys, let's moving forward. Talking about our Philadelphia Union, sponsored by Bimbo. I like what you did there, Justin. So guys, Sunday afternoon, and this was a little bit of an appetizer for myself. Obviously Sunday night, if you're 5-5 like us, Eagles in Dallas, which was ugly. We're not going to get to that, but I was hoping that the Union would win. Supporter Shield. If we got that, great. And then we get right into Dallas and Philly. It was going to be a great Sunday. But then Sunday afternoon, the Union, to me, looked like the better team. And I think you guys can agree that the Union looked like the better team in 90 minutes against Columbus. But yet we still lost, guys. We lost 2-1. And guys, listen, Union fans, I hear you. I hear the panic going on. I saw it on Twitter. I understand. I understand.
Saw it.
It was all over my feed.
I mean, Johnny, I know you got your wish that they didn't clinch it last week, but let me tell you, Union Twitter was like the gif of the dog sitting in the room on fire kind of summed up how Union Twitter was going on right now. People were half the was trying to stay calm and half of it wanted to burn everything down, and it was panic mode.
Listen, Philly can say what they want about the Union. Philadelphia Union fans are as Philadelphia as they come. And it's literally the same exact thing. Every time there's a loss or anything, something's not going right, we just like to freak out. And I love you guys for that. Honestly, I'm not one to freak out. I wasn't freaking out after Sunday's loss. I was upset, of course, but I have confidence in this team. This team's a little different, but we'll get to that in a second. But so the Union lose 2-1 here. I guess the main thing I think the first thing I want to talk about is because I kept hearing it from the MLS, people who cover the league, Joe Bendik. I think we should start off with that. Bendik face, is the return to Bendik face as he was our first start for the Philadelphia Union. Yeah. And I'm not glad. I felt confident going into it. He's a veteran guy. He's got a lot of starts under his belt. He's been around for a minute, but
21-1 in his last 22.
Yeah.
before that game.
Yeah.
Did not know that stat.
But this is a good team. This is probably the best team he's ever played with. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, in a while, yeah.
So, I think in this game, like, I think Union fans understand how good Andre Blake is, but I think the league realized how good he was. Like, Andre, in my opinion, would have stopped that first goal. He would have absolutely blocked that. He would have definitely blocked it. The second goal was absolutely beauty from Luis Diaz.
Second goal, I think he comes out on that 100%.
Yeah,
I still am going to give credit to Columbus because that was a nice cross and it was precise by Nemeth to nail that in. But I mean, look, from our understanding, Blake is going to miss this match on Sunday as well, and we're probably going to get Bendik here too. I'm on the bandwagon that I would like to see Matt Freeze. And it's interesting too because you guys remember last year we did see Matt Freeze when Andre went down.
For a bit, yeah.
And when Andre went away for Gold Cup, we did see a little bit of Matt Freeze and Carlos Coronel. Shouts out to Coronel.
Still with RB Salzburg.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be the big brother to Brennan Aronson. So I'm gonna be excited for that.
Yeah.
Again. But guys, I think before we get into the match thoughts, I want to get your thoughts on the goalie situation.
Sure. I'll start off. I was, I think, with the majority of everyone watching the games of being like, oh, wow, like this is what the Union get when they don't have an MVP caliber goalkeeper in this league. Like it was just such a stark contrast from what Union fans and people who watch the Union and cover the Union have been used to. The first goal, while the defense should have stepped up, and that was kind of the theme on both goals, actually, the team really should have stepped up and stopped some transition, stopped some movement. Bendik didn't come out, at least for that first one. He looked like he could have read it a little bit better, made that dive. I get that, like, he's not as athletic as Andre. So that's normally a Andre Blake pull that save, out of nowhere type of thing. The second goal, I agree with you, Justin. I know you're a goalkeeper. So he seemed to be like he didn't come out for it. He should have come out for it a little bit earlier. Yeah, he just kind of sat back and then he got caught. Which sucks, obviously. But in terms of the, wanting to see Matt Freeze, after the game, I was like, oh, that would be kind of cool. But at the same time, like, who are you really going to go with? Matt Freeze has had some MLS games, but he's also, played the majority with Union 2, and he hasn't necessarily looked the best there either. I know Union 2 hasn't had a great defensive record over the last few years, but even when he was there, he showed that he had some issues, I believe, with coming out for crosses as well, which is how the Union got beat this week. So is it really that much of a difference? I'm not really sure about that. But one thing is, since we're talking about goalkeepers, and I'll let Justin talk a little bit more about Bendik and everything, because I know he was texting me during the match and after it, like, about Bendik. But Eli Room for Columbus made 8 amazing saves in that game, and he pretty much won it for Columbus there. I know they had to score the 2 goals and they took advantages when they had them, but he stood on his head and earned Team of the Week honors, and he looked really good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Room, I was like, I felt like he didn't get enough praise. Honestly, I really didn't think he got enough praise. What's your thoughts on the situation here, Justin?
So Tim said it best. I was texting him kind of frantically during the game. I admittedly normally got a little more heated than I would have during a Union game. I think with the things that were at stake, I think I was a little more excited for it. But so I had a lot of time to think about the whole situation. The first goal, I'm not willing to blame Joe. He was a tad over in his setup. I think if he's about a step over, I think he makes the save. I mean, he was just short. I looked at the play again. But again, as a goalie, I gotta say, Kai has to step out on that.
Yeah.
Your defense cannot give someone that much room to turn and fire it. And Artur had Artur had a good at least a second or two to turn, look, and fire it. And he, I mean, honestly, and Kai was slow to come out.
Yeah.
The second one, see, and this is what I debated with Tim about. I think that one I can blame a little bit more on Joe.
Yeah.
I think he has to come out. He read it horribly. He was scared to come out because he was coming out late. And I think because he came out late, instead of coming up, that kind of cross, you come up and out to go for the ball. What Bendik did was kind of went up and over to try to stop the shot more than to stop the cross.
Yeah.
And I would have rathered him flailed and missed on the ball than to go for, because at the very least, Glesnes was in position. I mean, it got past him, but Glesnes was in the position where, like, you want your defender to be that backup in the case that you miss it.
Yeah.
Now, again, Eloy Room, Curacao International, who, man, absolutely stood on his head last year in the Gold Cup.
Yeah.
No question. The man, holy guacamole, the man was unreal. I don't think I've seen a clinic of goalkeeping from another team in, honestly, I can't remember how long. It was one of those when you go, man, I really miss Andre. Like Andre this year is recouping his 2016 goalie of the year form.
Yeah.
Times two. I mean, the man has gotten his confidence back, has gotten his athleticism back. Again, yeah, the team need to step up on both goals. I think that was a bit of a lack of one of those where you dominate the game and you kind of switch off for a couple plays.
Yeah.
But with Andre, again, being out, the surgery last week, being about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
May or may not be ready for the game. Based on what the timeline of the playoffs starting.
Yeah.
He's definitely in line to play. The question is, do you risk rushing him and risk hurting something further? Because as we know, goalie is in one position where you kind of need two good hands to, or at least one and a half. I mean, if you got a few fingers that are broken, you can tape them together and stick it in there. It's no problem. But you need
just do the Patrick Willis. Just put the cast on it. It'll be fine. Just bat the ball.
What are we? JPPing it with a fist here? It doesn't work when you're trying to catch the ball. I've hyperextended every joint in my arms and hands. It's painful to not have two good working hands. So
gotcha.
I don't want to risk Andre, but I also would love to see him back for the playoffs.
Absolutely. So speaking of, just everything else that went on the pitch for the Union, I really think Columbus did a solid job of, disrupting our diamond. Like when you can just try to obviously we like to play narrow with that diamond in the center of our pitch. But, when you can spread those guys out, it kind of leaves vulnerabilities for the Union. Columbus did a solid job of doing that. And it's kind of like a blueprint if you were able to do that to try to beat us. And you also got to match your physicality, which is tough. So,
you also got to miss on 22 shot attempts. I mean,
dude, crazy. Absolutely wild.
JT said it best when he's like, you might not have agreed that Bendik played a good game, but man, you can't have 22 shots and say that Joe Bendik's the only reason you lost that game.
Yeah, we hit the woodwork a couple of times too, didn't we?
Yeah,
a few times. Yeah.
Yep.
There's some good. There's definitely some good opportunities.
Oh yeah.
What you got there, Tim?
No, I think you guys pretty much hit it on the head. For the Union, especially just for their gameplay, they switched off on a few moments. They didn't step up to the ball. They couldn't stop a fast break. type of thing. The diamond was disjointed again with Jack Elliott at the 6. He looks fine, but again, he's not El Brujo, which we've seen when he's in there, he really makes this team fly on the defensive and then transitioning forward. I did say during the match on Twitter that Brendan, Sergio, and Casper were kind of on another level. They looked really good, and I think that is something that they can build confidence on moving into this last match of the season and then into the playoffs as well, assuming that everyone, stays together in that form. They looked really good together, playing those quick 1-2s and trying to beat Columbus down the middle, which we saw it worked. They had 22 shots. They just couldn't score a goal in open play, which sucks. But some days that happens. And then to your point, Justin, about Andre Blake, that was huge news coming out that he got the surgery. He was supposed to be out for 4 to 6 weeks, and now that timeline has shifted to 2 to 2.5 weeks. And he had the surgery, I believe, on Monday. So that is, we're already into that timeline, which is crazy to think. So and to your point, I think while it might be rushing him to get him into that first playoff game, I think Andre wants to play in that playoff game. And I think he's going to come back, and I think he's going to play. Even if he's not 100%.
Considering it's at least what the 24th, 25th, based on what I'm saying.
Yeah, because
he's in a good position realistically, right? Because it's unlikely that he's going to be going for not for Jamaica now, so he'll have plenty of time to rest up.
Exactly. Maybe it was all part of the plan. No, I'm just kidding.
The Union are fed up with sending guys out for international duties. I think after Brujo, we learned that. But no, listen, I know it's frustrating. When you play well and you lose the match, it's always frustrating. But fact of the matter is, I think that I always say that things happen for a reason. And who's to say we don't see these guys in the playoffs? And things will be very different then. I really believe that.
Because it'll be at
guys, I'm sorry?
It'll be at Subaru Park. That's why it'll be different.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they don't want to come to the Zoo. Come on. They don't want to come to the Zoo. All right. Well, Tim, so our Union still have an opportunity to win a Supporter Shield, even though we lost on Sunday afternoon. Yep. How can this team bring a trophy to Philadelphia?
Just win.
Just win.
You
sounded like Adrian.
You just gotta win. Yeah.
Gotta win, Rocky. You gotta win.
Justin, insert Rocky montage. Okay, no, I'm kidding.
No, but seriously, it's really.
Yeah, wait, do we have those rights for? I'm just.
No, we don't have those yet.
Liam, let's get a little more in our budget here.
But it really is that simple for the Union. They just have to win the game that's in front of them against the team that they've beaten 4 times already this year. I mean,
haven't lost it since 2017.
Right, exactly. The Union have this team's number. That's where they're at. We'll get into the Revs in a minute here, so I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole of why we're playing this team a 5th time in the regular season.
Because Don Garber hates us. It's why we had to travel to Columbus 2 times in a season.
Yeah, but I mean, just looking at the Shield and the Shield watch, obviously Union, still have 2 points per game, which is how everything is going by. Again, Toronto was able to win their match over the weekend, so they are again tied with the Union on points per game. The Union are ahead on goal differential. So if things kind of stayed the same, let's say the Union and TFC both tie in that last game, the Union will still win the Shield. If the Union win, as I said, it's an automatic lock. The only way they can really lose it is if they lose and Toronto FC win. Now, there were some other teams who were in the mix here starting at last weekend, but they're all kind of out of it now. Seattle was really the only other team in the mix, and they got beat by Colorado. And
thank you, Keegan Rosenberry.
Keegan Rosenberry, the Union legend, getting that awesome volley for a goal to really put that game away.
Shouts to Keegs.
Yeah, shouts to Keegs, and Austin Trusty played in that game too. Good for Colorado for getting our ex-Union boys some love there. So they helped us by knocking out Seattle. So it really is a 2-team race now. It is the Union or Toronto who's going to win the Supporter Shield, and we'll see if the Union can win their first trophy here this coming Sunday.
It's coming home. It's coming home.
Where's Liam?
All right.
Liam going to jump on real quick to surprise us by singing this?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Awesome stuff. So, yeah, guys, listen. We win. We got a trophy. Our very, I don't even know how
Our
to
very own dinner
say it.
plate.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna be eating for sure. We're definitely gonna be eating. All right, so like Tim said, it's simple. All we got to do is beat the New England Revolution. It's in our hands. It's literally in our hands. So let's get right into this, guys. Let's preview this match here: Philadelphia Union versus the New England Revolution. 3:30 kickoff. We got flex, guys. We got flex on the ABC.
We national TV second week in a row. We're some big stuff. All right.
Let's go. The nation knows us now. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right. Well, here, guys, I'm going to be completely 100% honest with you. A week ago, I felt really confident. I felt like, we're going to tie against Columbus. We're going to win it against New England in front of Bruce Arena, in front of our home fans. But guys, honestly, I'm a little concerned. We just discussed Andre Blake. We don't know whether he'll be playing or not on Sunday. And if he does, he's not going to be 100%. I'm not feeling confident about Bendick if he's in there. Carles Gil is back. Tim, how many times did we say this New England team is good? It would be a good team, a contending team if they had a number 10. Yep. Well, they just got their number 10 back. So you make, and then obviously we just talked about how the Union lost last Sunday, and how so Union of them to do, right? And now the pressure again. Pressure is on us even more. I feel like now this upcoming Sunday than it was last Sunday. So yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. So, Justin, give us your thoughts here, man. How are you feeling about this New England game?
Not as nervous as I thought I once was. Yeah, it's a big stage. Yeah, having Carlos Gil back for New England is big. But we've faced them with him before. We've beat them with him before.
Yeah. And
listen, we've seen Bruce Arena's fat ass enough times. I don't need to see Bruce Arena anymore. Let's be honest here. We don't need to see Bruce Arena anymore. When you look at that team, Matt Turner, I've said, is a good goalie. I think potentially could make a European move. That defense has been serviceable. They're kind of like Columbus. They don't give up a lot of goals, but there's you could they can be burned for a lot of goals, as we saw with Columbus. Columbus looked a bit stretched at the back at times. I could definitely see that with New England. New England's midfield, I honestly don't know what they're trying to do. They have a platoon of guys that are essentially 6/8. I mean, Lee Win is kind of their 10, but then you also have Carlos Gil. Tajon Buchanan is the only player who's worth anything, because the kid has had the Union's number, and I'll say this: kid's career will be better if he leaves New England, because he can get far away from Bruce Arena and New England in general. But I'm not as worried as I was last week. I think last week I would have said, Joe Bendick didn't look great. But the thing with this Union team is they don't lose 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
They're a team that bounces back. They're a team that really, really, I mean, come on. You're going to be in front of their fans. They have the shield on the line. They're not going to want to pass this up. Now, the real question, and I think it's one that, because we haven't really seen any press conferences, I'm curious. Do we potentially get El Brujo back?
Yeah.
I'm not 100% certain. I think that's a game time decision. Maybe he makes the bench if he's cleared quarantine, which would be big if you could get him on for maybe 45 minutes just to kind of get him back into the game. Realistically, the way this game's and the way all the games is going to switch out, I see the Union winning 2-1.
Okay.
I mean, that's basically been the score line for most of the games outside of the draw. And then 1-0, I think, in the Moses back tournament.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried. This team, I have confidence that they'll put it. I mean, come on. Brendan has said, a lot of these guys said they want trophies. They want stuff. it's even Jim said it's going to feel like kind of a not as good of a season if they can't come back with any kind of silverware.
Yeah.
And I think the team really wants to. I think the team seems a bit different this year. I think they really want to push for it. And I mean, come on, you win and it's yours. You don't have to worry about anyone else. It's yours. And all the games are at the same time, so the only people who are going to know are the fans. So I think you don't want to leave it up to chance. You say, hey, Brucey, it's nice seeing you again. We'll send you right back on the Patriot plane with a loss.
The Robert Kraft aircrafter there. How you feeling there, Tim?
I am feeling actually very confident about this match, and it's not just because the Union have beaten New England every time they've played this year. It's actually because of a trend that I noticed with the Union this year. So the Union have, really only lost 3 games this season. One was way back at the beginning of the year. They lost their opener to Dallas. The game after that was the LAFC game. Union scored 3 goals. I know they got scored on, but they got that draw in LAFC. Super impressive. The Glesnes game, everything with that. So they scored 3 goals there. Later on, after this crazy season, you see them lose to Columbus at Columbus the first time. The next game, they play at New York Red Bull. They win 3-0. They scored 3 goals again. Then the next loss for the Union, the one against Toronto in Connecticut up there. The Union come back. They play FC Cincinnati. They win 3-0. They score 3 goals again. So what happens after a Union loss? They score 3 goals. I think this game, the Union are going to come out firing, and they're going to score 3. I don't know how many New England gets, if they get any, but I think the Union are going to win this game, and they're going to score at least 3 goals.
Oh dang, Tim going with the bold prediction.
Yeah,
I like the confidence.
I'm going there. I'm confident they're gonna win the Shield, and I think to your point, Justin, though the real factor will be if Brujo is back, because we've noticed just in the very few games where he was out with having to quarantine with COVID and everything like that, or not with COVID, but when he came back from Venezuela, when he had to quarantine, then he came back and played. The difference that the team had was instant. And you come and you plug him in against Toronto and you win 5-0 against Toronto. I know it was a little bit of a depleted Toronto, but still, I'm going to hype on that. Like, he was amazing in that match. If he's able to play this weekend, and we'll have to wait and see what the press conferences look like later in the week here. This is kind of the downside of only having 1 game in a week span, is there's not 2 press conferences in a week, so you don't get as many updates. But we'll have to see. I think that can play a big factor as well. But I still think the Union, no matter who they have playing the 6, this team is different. And they come, after a loss, they come out firing and they score 3 goals. And I think that's going to happen in this game.
This is what you get when you listen to DOOP By The River. Tim is giving you guys some deep down stats there that actually makes me feel better about Sunday, honestly, there.
There you go.
And let's not forget, Tim, the Union are undefeated at the Soup.
Yeah.
They have not lost a game at Subaru Park. I think they tied once there. And so when they're at the Soup, like, they're comfortable, and the confidence is just spewing out from them. And of course, your boy's going to be there. So, I'm going to be loud and proud as a proud Union fan that I am. And another thing, too, guys, New England played against DC their last match. It was an absolute wild match.
Barn burner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Up in Foxborough, and there were 7 goals. New England got the win. But I have to think that took a lot out of them to get that win there. So there are some things in our favor, and I want to believe that the Union have turned the page on the first 10 years of our existence. This is a new Union generation. This is a Union team that shows up when they need to show up. And guys, they need to show up Sunday. We want trophies. Like Tim, how many times have we talked about, like, the Union need to win something? Like, you're about to lose. You're already losing Brendan. You're about to lose Mark McKenzie. You might lose Anthony Fontana next summer. Like, the domino pieces are going to start falling. Yeah. So this is the best team you've ever had in our young history. So you got to go out there and you got to win. And listen, Bruce Arena, I know our style is boring and it's not complicated, but it still freaking beats you. And I hope that we can get that same energy and then we can just put them down. Like I want a TFC match. I want to start early and fast. I want New England to just look at themselves and be like, wait, what's going on? Like I don't know what's happening. Put up 5 goals on them. Like that's what I want. Like it's crazy too. Like we played each other so many times that between both sides, not just like the actual teams, but the fans like, back and forth. I know New England's not a big fan of me, which is completely okay. That's completely okay. So it's gonna be fun when we're winning, and I'm celebrating with my dinner plate in front of New England fans. It's gonna be fantastic. It's absolutely gonna be fantastic. Tim, Justin said his prediction. What's your? I know you got the Union winning, but what's your prediction there?
It's 3-0. They score 3 goals. It's 3-0. They don't get scored on.
Let's go.
As far-fetched as that might seem, it's very positive. I'm going with it. I'm sticking with it.
Let's go. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right. So Tim honestly got me really motivated there with his thoughts on this match. I think I'm going to go on Tim's theory, and I think the Union at home, this is put up or shut up time for them. Jim knows how to get these guys ready for matches like these now. I got the Union winning 4-1. Embarrass them. Come on.
Honestly, that could happen. And I think another thing that we haven't talked about is the Revs are stuck in 6th place. They can't move up. They can't go down. They're right there. So they're out of or they're right in that kind of play-in range, but they don't really have anything to play for because they can't move anywhere.
So they have the advantage over Nashville and the Red Bull?
Yeah, they have an advantage over Nashville and Red Bull right now.
Okay.
On points per game still, yeah. And they had more points than that as well. So they either way, if we were looking at it back then too, they don't really have much to play for other than getting ready for the playoffs. But yeah.
Well, they also have a little grudge against us too. So
that's true.
Spoiler movie.
They definitely want to spoil it for us.
Yeah.
I already know Bruce, you already know what Bruce Reeder's doing this week. He's in the dressing room with his guys. He's like, listen, these guys keep embarrassing us. This team is not that good. We need to beat them.
Making me look bad. I've won MLS Cup.
Yeah, and you know how arrogant he is. Like it's gonna be hilarious. It's absolutely gonna be hilarious. All right, guys, listen. No matter what happens, we will still bleed the blue and gold. All right, no matter what happens, and we're gonna go to the playoffs regardless. We're in the playoffs, so whatever happens, happens. All right. So next up, guys, last to end this podcast, I want to. This is for all my U.S. men's national team fans here. I like to rejoice with you guys, even though I am not a fan of the U.S. men's national team. But of course, I want to see them win. So we got word of the. So obviously, the next international break will be in about a week and a half. I want to say.
Yeah, about a week. Yeah.
About a week or so from recording.
About a week ago. Sorry. No. So the U.S. Federation announced the squad for the friendlies, facing off against we got Wales and we got Panama for the U.S. men's national team. So guys, take it away. This is obviously your time here. What are your thoughts on the international break here? It's been over a year since you guys seen your team.
Yeah. It's very true. I was super hyped when I saw this roster come out. I'm not gonna lie.
What stood out to you, Tim?
What stood out to me was obviously we sort of knew that these games were going to be played. They're played in Europe, so obviously they're going to play Wales, kind of in their home, so to speak, and then Panama is also coming over.
Wait, with Gareth Bale?
I'm assuming. I don't know if he got called up. I'd have to check. I haven't checked the other squads, but just seeing the U.S. men's national team squad, the thing that stuck out to me was that it's all of the young American players that are playing over in Europe that got the call for these friendlies. It's that new wave of players. Obviously, we've seen the Christian Pulisic and Weston McKennie and to an extent Tyler Adams as well play for the national team, but now we're getting guys like Gio Reyna coming into the squad.
Give me some Conrad de la Fuente.
Conrad de la Fuente, the Barcelona kid. Obviously, Serginho Dest, Barcelona. Weston McKennie, I believe he got called up too, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, obviously, now he's with Juventus. So
Sebastian Soto.
Yeah, Sebastian Soto, young striker over there, coming in. The biggest name too was, I think at least, was I'm going to butcher this name, but Eunice Musa, who plays for Valencia.
Yeah,
and he played some youth international games for England, but most recently has said that he wants to come and play for the U.S. men's national team. And then literally a day later, the squad came out and his name was on the sheet. So I was super excited to see this young attacking midfielder kid kind of come in and we can see what he does. He's been kind of highly touted, and obviously he noticed there wasn't much of an in route to the England squad that he was there for. So
hey, we'll take that. We'll take that.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take anybody like that. So I'm excited just to see these, this new wave of American players come into these friendlies under Greg Berhalter. We'll actually get to see him in his element, getting ready for World Cup qualifiers, which obviously will be in 2021, and it'll be pretty condensed because they only have a year to get everything done. I believe we're also going to see a Gold Cup next year as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think there will be one.
I'm trying to figure that one out between that and the Nations League. I'm not sure what exactly is going on. I think they're still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, but no, I was just super hyped to see this list of names come out, and it might be because their first game against Wales is on my birthday, but that might have something to do with it. But yeah,
that should be fun. What how you feeling, Justin? What's your thoughts on the call ups?
I think Tim said it pretty good about a lot of the players that. There's some names that we know, the Weston McKennies, the Tyler Adams, Christian Pulisic got called up. Now whether he plays is another question.
Yeah.
The Serginho Dest, there's a lot of guys that have been there and are trying to be the rising name. The name I'm interested to see, and I think it's just because he's had kind of a rough last couple years, is Tim Weah.
Yeah.
He's a guy that a few years ago really burst onto the scene, was flashy. He made the big money move to Lille, and he was playing for PSG. He was doing great, and then he started to have some injury troubles.
Yeah,
and it's been a really, he's had some good spells, but it's been a really rough couple of years. He started to play a bit more recently. He's being played a little bit out of position, more as a second striker. And when you have a guy like Jonathan David make a big money move, it's kind of tough to get on the field there.
Yeah.
He's more of a winger per se. So I think that's the real thing. And I'm interested to see. And plus, with this team, I'm interested to see how these young guys work together. And because, we talk about, the Tyler Adams, the Weston McKennies, the Christian Pulisic, the Gio Reynas, but these guys really haven't played together much.
Yeah.
So I want to see what these guys can do together because, this could be a core for, several World Cup cycles going into at least 2034, 2034. So I'm interested to see how these guys play together and how Berhalter gets them together. But I'm excited. It's for once, I think what was it since the February friendly against Costa Rica?
Yeah, I
think is the last. So it's really the last. There really hasn't been a meaningful U.S. game in over a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested to see how the team looks.
I'm honestly a big fan of Tim Weah, and I really think that it's unfortunate he's gone through injuries. And obviously with Lille, you just said he's been playing out of position, so it's always tough. But I still think that he's going to be a solid player worldwide. But, it's exciting time if you're an American soccer fan. Like, just even looking at back home, like the growth of sport, and then just seeing these young stars. Like you're talking about Weston McKennie with Juve, Christian Pulisic with Chelsea, Serginho Dest with Barcelona. Like, it's crazy.
$6 million man going to Salzburg.
Hey, yes, sir. Hopefully, Brendan.
That call up's coming soon.
Yes, sir. That call up is coming soon. Well, guys, while you guys are enjoying that, my Colombia's got World Cup qualifiers next weekend. We got Uruguay first, and we got Ecuador. Of course, you guys know me. I'm a big MLS snob, so of course I'm going to talk about the fact that Colombia is going to go up against some MLS players. Against Uruguay, it's interesting that Brian Rodriguez and where I just lost
Nico
his name.
Lodero?
And Diego Rossi. No, Nicolas Lodero. That was honestly, I'm honestly shocked that he didn't get the call up. I guess Seattle said no. But keep that in mind for a second. But LA losing 2-star attacking players, interesting. And then on the 17th, we're playing against Ecuador. They have Diego Palacios, who also plays for LAFC, Xavier Arrega, who plays for Seattle. We have Jose Cifuentes for LAFC, and then Jason Mendez for Orlando City. So some good MLS flair I will be watching during my national team game. So I'm excited for that.
You gonna be able to watch that? I've heard a lot of stuff about CONMEBOL qualifiers being tough to get a hold of.
You just gotta find illegal sites. I hope no one's listening to that.
Very legal sites that we don't
edit
get
it out.
very legal.
It is very tough. It is so tough. It's so annoying because obviously, when it comes to the 5 Philly sports, I make time to dedicate to watch those games, but it's easy. Like, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers go on NBC Sports, Eagles games nationally televised usually. Union games, PHL 17, but thank God for Tim for telling me about the online stream. But, obviously Colombia, I care about them almost as much as these other 5 teams here in Philly. And it's so hard to find the freaking game. It is really hard. You find, luckily, on Twitter, the Colombians, the Colombian plugs, as I like to say, they usually give out the link. So I should be able to find it. But it is tough to find. It really is. I should be able to watch. I will find a way to watch. Trust me. I will find some way to watch it. Trust and believe me. All right. Good stuff, guys. All right. So, guys, that's another podcast episode. Any last words for the listeners?
I'll let Justin go first this time.
Honestly, just biggest thing, with, again, we talked about earlier, is just be good. Just be good to everyone. Just try to be better as a person. Try to be better to your neighbors, to your friends. Everyone's dealing with a rough time right now. It's a very tough time in this country, around the world, with a virus that we still, despite all the stuff we know, we don't really have a good concept on, and it's scary, and it definitely, it hurts, and we want a semblance of whatever normal may be, but we got to treat each other right, and whatever it is this weekend, whether you're you go buy grab some groceries for your neighbor, or go stop by your friend's house that you might not be seeing a lot and drop off a 6-pack and just say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Whatever it is, just one simple act of kindness this weekend, I think, could go a long way in making someone's weekend. And hey, you never know, that good karma might help result in the Union winning the Shield. So whatever, I always say, whatever good karma we can take, I'll go ahead. But be kind, and just, for gosh sake, just let's get through this together.
Yeah,
absolutely. What about you, Tim?
Well said. No, I agree with everything Justin just said there. That's awesome. For me, though, I was going to kind of throw it out as maybe a little bit of a tease to, kind of stay tuned to DOOP by the River, here over the next little bit as we get into, possibly talking about the Union winning a Shield, possibly talking about the playoffs. Maybe we'll have a surprise guest come on the podcast, someone that maybe has been a part of the Union in some capacity or the other. I don't know, but maybe just
Yeah,
keep
it
an
has
eye
a
on
certain
that.
ring to it. So it has a certain ring to it. I just can't put my finger
Yeah,
on
it's
it.
crazy. But yeah, just keep an eye on that. And that's my tease for the next few podcasts. Maybe keep your eye out for who's going to be on it.
Absolutely. Guys, listen, this is the place to be. Like, we like to have fun here. We like to talk about youth soccer, and we want to talk about what you guys want to talk about, honestly. So definitely stay tuned for what Tim is talking about. You're going to definitely enjoy it. Guys, enjoy your weekend. Union, please, please, please bring a trophy to Philly. We need one. I know we won a Super Bowl a couple years ago, but
Yeah.
we need soccer trophies here. We need some soccer loving in Philadelphia. So definitely bring a trophy back home here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to rate and subscribe to the podcast. It would truly mean the world to me. We got Tim over there. We got Justin over there. And I'm in Parcero, Philly, and we're all telling you guys to do ball. We will talk to you guys very soon.